Hey guys, it's Abby or by the Angel Books, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my summer TBR. I will be participating in the hashtag series summer thing. I don't know how big it is, but I know J Book Lover over on her channel kind of talked about wanting to do this kind of series summer thing. So I'm not only doing this because of her video. For a while I have planned to read series for the most part in the summer because during the school year I get very daunted by them because I know it's going to take me a long time, plus my classwork is going to draw them out even longer, and it's just I have to stay on, I don't have to, but I tend to stay on that same story for a long period of time rather than being able to experience new stories and new authors. But in the summer I have pretty much for the most part free time, and so that's when I like to get my series read. I do have absolutely an overly ambitious TBR and I'm very aware of that. And these books are in no particular order in terms of priorities and the ones I want to make sure I get to, but I will kind of tell you if I'm I will get to this, or this is kind of a second thought, hopefully I get there. There are a lot of series here to read. Also, I'm not going to be mentioning any series where there's less than two books out thus far, and I'm also not going to be mentioning series that I only have one book left to read. So with that being said, I'm just gonna get started. First book that I have here planned is The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey, along with The Last Star that just came out a couple of days ago. I read The Fifth Wave a couple of weeks before the movie came out. I don't remember exactly what month that was this year. The first one was alright. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was just, it was nicely written, but it didn't blow me away. I am excited to get to this one and then The Infinite Sea to see how this story unravels. Even though I do have some anticipation for this book, this is one that I'm kind of putting on the back burner. It's not going to be a top priority. The next book I have here is The Young Elites by Marie Lu. Basically, there's kind of some sort of destruction thing, and a lot of people were left with these strange marks. The main character has some herself, and I also hear that this has a lot to do with super abilities, which I really like superpowers and that kind of idea. From what I hear, it gives very much of a Shatter Me vibe. I could be wrong, but that's what I've heard from some people, and I love the Shatter Me series, so I'm definitely looking forward to this one. This is one of them that I really want to get to this summer. It's not necessarily the very top, but it's definitely pretty high on my list. The next lovely series that I have here is the Winter's Curse series by Marie Rutkoski. I don't exactly know how to pronounce her last name. I've heard incredible things about this recently on BookTube. I feel like a lot of people have been reading this series and absolutely loving it. This is one that I for sure want to get to this summer. The next series I want to get to is the Luck series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is obviously the first 2 books bound in one. It's quite hefty. There are 5 books total, and from what I hear, it's just kind of a Twilight-esque thing with aliens. Not exactly, but this is one that I'm not entirely sure. I'm not going to prioritize it to read it this summer. A lot of people say you have to be in the mood to read this, and I don't want it. If I'm not in the mood, I don't want it to stop me from kind of reading a lot more this summer. I don't want to get in a slump because of this series. Maybe I won't, but yes, this is not on the top of my list. The next series I have is completely finished, and that's the Cinder series by Marissa Meyer. This series is kind of just a fairy tale. This one specifically is Cinderella retelling in kind of a cyborg nation or society, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Obviously, people on BookTube absolutely adore this series. I do want to get the entire box set in hardback, which is the only reason I wouldn't make this a priority for this summer, because that's not coming out until October to be available. So I kind of just want to buy the box set so I can marathon them. That's the only reason I'm not going to prioritize this summer. The next series I have is the Vampire Academy series, and yes, I haven't actually read this yet, despite the fact that I own all 6 books. For that reason, this is definitely in my top 3 for this summer. I don't know if it's first, second, or third, but it's definitely up there. I feel like these will just be the perfect ones to marathon throughout the summer. I own all of them, so I don't have to worry about that. And this is just kind of a booktube classic that most people have read, and I haven't. The next book that I have here is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. I actually read one of her contemporary standalone novels called Scribbler of Dreams, and really loved that. Also, I've met her. This book is signed, which is super cool. So this is just kind of a book about a runaway princess. The first 2 books are out as of right now, as I know. I only own the first one though, but this is probably in my middle of wanting to get to this summer. Next book is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer series by Michelle Hodkin. There are 3 books in this series. I own all 3, as you can see, just like Vampire Academy, but I still haven't read this. Like Vampire Academy, I feel like it's kind of a booktube classic that I just haven't, not classic, but one that's everyone's read, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. I really am excited for the series, so I would like to get to it this summer. However, it is kind of spooky-esque, kind of Halloween feeling. From what I've heard, and I did read the first couple chapters at some point, so I wouldn't be overly mad if I ended up reading it in the fall rather than the summer. The series I have is completed, and that is Half Bad by Sally Green. I only own the first book, but all 3 are out. This is definitely up there. I do want to get to it. Benjamin at Benjamin of Tomes absolutely loves the series. He talks about it all the time, and I'm just very excited for it. Next series I have, or companion kind of thing, is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I definitely want to get to this because it's kind of one of the 2 contemporaries on my list. Obviously another one that almost everyone's read except for me, so I just really want to get to these. Next is quite the hefty book. That's because I have all 3 in the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy by Jenny Han. Again, I definitely want to get to this. Obviously, it's kind of the most summer book on here, and I feel weird reading it any other time of the year, so I for sure want to get to this perhaps on my beach trip, because as far as I remember, they go to a beach house or something every summer with their friends, so that might be fun. The series I have is kind of 2 companion series together, and that's the Program series. First of all, I have the Program duology. I have read this book. I own the second one, so I would reread this and read the second one. Also the companion series, The Remedy, and I don't remember the second book in that's name. But this whole world is really intriguing to me. I did really enjoy this book. The second one just wasn't out at the time, and then I read other stuff and haven't gotten back to it, but I am very excited for this. The last 2 are definitely my top 2, not particularly in this order, but I am for sure going to read these this summer. And the first is the Harry Potter series. I've mentioned before, I actually haven't read this series myself. My dad read it to me from the grades 2 to 4, so I do know the story. I experienced it, but I've never read it myself. I figured summer was a perfect time because I had plenty of time during the summer to do my own thing and get to all these hefty books. This is obviously something that people should just have read in their lifetime, and I'm going to do that. The very final book I have on my TBR for the summer is the Clockwork Angel, the Infernal Devices series. Obviously, I love the Mortal Instruments. My channel name is By the Angel Books, but I actually haven't read anything else by Cassie Clare. When I first read The Mortal Instruments, I tried to pick this up immediately, but I was too sad that any of my old and loved characters wouldn't be in the same world. I'd be reading about different people in it. It felt weird to me. Though, like, 2+ years has passed now, so I think I'm ready to jump into this one. But yeah, I for sure want to read this and Harry Potter. They are absolutely the ones I have to get to this summer. That concludes my summer TBR. I'm sorry this last bit was a bit rushed. My camera is dying. But besides that, I hope you enjoyed. Remember to leave a comment below, give this video a like, and subscribe. But of course, only if you want to, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!